She told me the deposit was non-refundable, pointed at the contract. Except there was no contract, no venue booking, no florist. Just my $15,000 gone. And a woman who'd been doing this to couples for years. I was 28, engaged, working 60-hour weeks as a nurse practitioner. Marcus, my fiancé, did structural engineering. Between the two of us, we had maybe 4 free hours a week, and the idea of planning a wedding on top of everything made me want to cry. So, when my co-worker Diane mentioned her wedding planner, a woman named Gretchen Hale who ran something called Enchanted Day Events, I jumped at it. Looked her up, 12,000 Instagram followers, beautiful photos, a website that didn't look scammy. She had a little desk in a shared workspace downtown, which I didn't think twice about. First meeting was great. She had a physical binder, vendor contacts, venue options, pricing breakdowns. She asked about our vision, took notes, followed up the next day with a mood board. She was organised in a way that made me feel like I could stop worrying about this one thing. Her fee was $5,000 for planning. On top of that, she'd handle vendor deposits using her industry relationships for better rates. Over 3 months, we gave her another $10,000. 4 for the venue, $2,500 for catering, $2,000 for flowers, $1,500 for DJ and lighting. Every payment, she sent back a confirmation receipt on letterhead. Professional, detailed, completely made up, as it turned out. It started with a tasting appointment. 5 months before the wedding, I texted Gretchen to confirm. She said it was being rescheduled. A week later, same answer. The caterer was renovating their kitchen. 2 more weeks, and nothing. So I called the catering company myself. They'd never heard of us. No booking, no deposit, no record of Gretchen Hale or Enchanted Day events. I called the venue. Same thing. The florist, the DJ. Nobody had been contacted. Nobody had received $1. 15,000 gone. 5 months to the wedding, and we had literally nothing booked. I called Gretchen. Voicemail. Texted. Read. No reply. Emailed. Bounced. I drove to her office, and the workspace manager told me she'd stopped renting the desk 2 months ago. That evening, Marcus and I sat at our kitchen table and I just lost it. Not gracefully. Snot, mascara, the whole thing. It wasn't even the money, though that was 2 years of savings. It was that I'd trusted her. I'd shared my excitement with her, told her about the dress I wanted, the first dance song. And she'd sat there taking notes like it mattered. Marcus wanted to go to the police right away. I wasn't ready yet. I was still processing that this was real. 3 days later, I posted in a local wedding Facebook group. Just asked if anyone had worked with Enchanted Day events. 6 private messages within an hour. 6 couples, same story. Deposits taken, nothing booked. Gretchen disappears when you start asking questions. The amounts ranged from $8,000 to $22,000. Combined, over $90,000. One of them, Jake and Elena, found out 3 weeks before their wedding that nothing was booked. They had to cancel everything. Elena's grandmother had flown in from Portugal for it. She never got another chance. She died 4 months later. When Jake told me that part, I had to put my phone down and walk around the block. And Gretchen was still operating. New Instagram, new name, Bliss and Bloom Weddings. New couples in her DMs right now. The 6 of us started talking, and pretty quickly Jake, who worked as a paralegal, suggested we organise everything we had. So we did. Every receipt, text, email, fake confirmation across all 7 cases into a shared drive. Over 200 documents. We mapped her pattern. New brand, new social media, same pitch, same binder. She'd been doing this for at least 3 years under 4 different names. Then we had to figure out how to actually catch her, which is where it got complicated. Someone suggested a fake couple, bait her into taking money while we documented everything. Elena's idea was to make the fake couple look like easy marks, high budget, busy, not detail-oriented. We set up a Google Voice number, a new email, and an Instagram account for Amanda and Tyler. For the photos, we used stock images and spent an evening backdating posts to make the account look 6 months old. It was tedious. We kept second-guessing whether it looked real enough. Marcus said it looked like every engagement account he'd ever seen, which was either reassuring or depressing. I messaged Bliss and Bloom from Amanda's account. Gretchen, going by Grace now, responded in 2 hours. My co-worker's sister Lisa agreed to play Amanda. Her boyfriend played Tyler. They met Gretchen at a coffee shop. The binder was there, the pitch was there, the charm was there. Lisa recorded the conversation on her phone. One-party consent state I'd checked 3 times because I was paranoid about screwing this up. Gretchen pushed hard for money up front. I can lock in your venue this week if you put down $5,000 today. Lisa said she needed to talk to her fiancé first. Before the second meeting, we contacted every vendor Gretchen typically claimed to use. Told them what was happening. 3 of them said they'd already gotten confused calls from couples asking about bookings that didn't exist. They agreed to cooperate if we needed them to confirm that no deposits had been made. We also filed a formal complaint with the State AG's Consumer Protection Division. Handed them the whole 200-document package. The investigator assigned to us, Daria, spent about an hour going through it and got visibly angry, which I took as a good sign. Daria couldn't officially endorse what we were doing, but she told us that evidence gathered by private citizens, if obtained legally, would likely be admissible. We took the hint. At the second meeting, Lisa handed Gretchen a cashier's cheque for $5,000. Gretchen was all smiles. Promised the venue would be locked in by Friday. Friday came. The confirmation receipt arrived, claiming a $4,000 deposit at the Willowbrook estate for a June wedding. We called Willowbrook with Daria on the line. No booking, no deposit. No contact from anyone. Now here's the part where our plan almost fell apart. We'd scheduled a third meeting to discuss flowers, and the idea was that everyone would walk in together. Me, the 6 couples, Daria. Dramatic, satisfying, all of it. Except Gretchen changed the meeting location the morning of. Different coffee shop, other side of town. Jake thought she was getting suspicious. Elena wanted to call it off, let the AG handle it from here. I almost agreed. We'd spent 2 months on this, and I didn't want to blow it by getting greedy with the confrontation. But Daria said she could still make the new location, and she already had the arrest warrant ready regardless. So we went. Lisa walked in first, then me, then Jake and Elena, then the others, then Daria. Gretchen's face went through about 4 expressions in 2 seconds. She grabbed her bag, stood up, said she didn't know what this was about. Daria showed credentials, mentioned the warrant. 7 counts of fraud, grand larceny, consumer protection violations. She was arrested in the same kind of coffee shop where she'd been pitching fake weddings for years. Her real name was Gretchen Hale Morrison. Prior fraud convictions in 2 other states. 5 years of wedding planning scams across 3 states. The DA's estimate was over 300,000 stolen from at least 30 couples. She was convicted on all counts. 4 years, full restitution ordered. We got back about 60% of our money through the restitution order and a civil judgment. Not everything. Enough to rebuild. The AG's office used the case to push for new legislation requiring wedding planners to carry a surety bond and register with a consumer protection database. That felt bigger than my 15,000. Marcus and I planned the wedding ourselves. It was smaller than what we'd originally imagined. His parents' backyard, folding chairs, string lights, a Bluetooth speaker for the music. My co-worker Diane made the cake. Jake and Elena were there. Lisa and her boyfriend were there. It wasn't what I'd pictured when Gretchen was showing me venue photos in that binder. It was better. In the specific way that things are better when every person in the room has actually earned being there. Subscribe. New story every week.